It feels so good to be back out in left field. I'm Ken Karen. I thank you for joining me. This whole show is going to be like a how I spent my summer vacation school presentation. I used to love going to the movies in the summertime with my friends. I remember when Batman Forever came out. I was obsessed. You're about to get to know a former Hazleton area high school wrestler named Timmy Samick, whose story is like a summer superhero blockbuster. Don't worry, it's better than Batman Forever. I don't want to sensationalize this or sound crazy, but I think former Hazleton area high school wrestler and current triathlete Timmy Samick is a superhero. Mild-mannered grad student by day, do-good strongman when he clocks out. Dude checks a lot of the superhero boxes. Super strength, check. Has access to a lab, check. Has interesting backstory with some adversity, check. Does a lot of good for others, check. I can feel some of you rolling your eyes at me, so let's examine this further. Timmy Samick was a champion wrestler at the Hazleton area high school with over 100 career wins. He eventually became a triathlete and twice represented Team USA at the Triathlon World Championships. He was a member of the club wrestling team at Clemson University and also coached the squad. Needless to say, he stays in shape and pushes his body as he trains for more long-distance triathlon events and Ironman competitions.
You know, usually when you think that things are starting to go downhill and you feel terrible, that's just your mind telling you that. And really, you're only about 40% there. You know, you still have about 60% left to give. So I don't know. I continuously go back to, you know, building my mental strength and my mental toughness through wrestling. Sorry, that's my cat.
Cool, cute cat sidekick. Anyway, back to the story.
If you continuously train yourself to do something, if you continuously train your mind to do something, there will come a certain point where you don't even have to think about it anymore. So like when you hit that wall or you feel yourself hitting that wall, sometimes it just doesn't even become a wall anymore.
I mean, I swear I've heard Batman say something just like that. In less words, of course, and with that deep, "I'm Batman" voice. Samick uses his athletic alter ego to help him in the lab as he's doing cancer research.
The type of work that I do, and most days, things fail. So, you know, I think about times where I'd be in the wrestling room and I'd be getting my head beaten in constantly for a half hour, but you gotta keep getting up. Yeah, you get a break for a couple minutes, then guess what? You got another half hour getting your head beat in. Still got to get up, still got to keep moving. So it's the same thing here. You know, things don't work all the time. Something didn't work for me 2 days ago, and I've been doing that thing for the past 3 years. Sometimes things go wrong, and you just got to keep moving, figure it out. That's the biggest thing. Figure out what went wrong, so it doesn't continually happen. I mean, it will for some things, but you just got to pick up and move on.
So yeah, we've moved on to has access to a lab. Samick is a PhD candidate at Clemson University in the Department of Bioengineering and works in the Nanobiotechnology lab. This stuff is real, I'm not pulling it from a Marvel movie script. His research focuses on treating ovarian cancer. Here's a brief, simplified so I can understand it description of what he does.
We develop things very, very small like peptides, peptide hydrogels, liposomes, which are like small, tiny little nanoparticles essentially made of lipids that you can load with different types of drugs, different types of gene therapy, and deliver them to cancer cells that we use to like test and see how the things are working, that could eventually, depending on their ability to be translated to the clinic into a patient, can be used for like personalized medicine, you know, specific for people who have a certain type of gene expression that's higher than another patient with the same cancer type. Just extremely personalized medicine and can be delivered systemically with much less like off-target, you know, really, really bad side effects that you see with regular chemotherapy or radiation therapy.
I feel like we all need a moment to let that sink in, so here's a picture of another one of Samick's cats. Just before the coronavirus changed everyone's life in the United States, Samick had his own world altered.
So yeah, in February I was diagnosed with stage 1 testicular cancer. You know, I had surgery and it gave me time to reflect and think about, all right, these are the real important things that I have going on in my life. These are the important situations that I need to pay attention to, and things outside of my control that I have no say in whether it happens or not. I need to try and limit how much time and energy and just mental commitment and emotional commitment I give to it, because too much will drain me, and then I won't have the energy and the focus to do the things that are important. I'm just very lucky to be able to be doing what I'm still doing, back on the bike, riding, running, swimming, in the lab. It's ironic because I work on the exact gender opposite cancer type. It's always about how you respond, how do you react to it. You can either go down the pipe, put your mind in the complete gutter and just throw it all away, say, oh, well, this is done, this happened to me, this is it. Or you can do the exact opposite, put things in order, see, okay, this is what's important, this is what I need to do right now, this is what I need to take care of in order to come out of this a better person than what I went in, and I keep moving forward with everything and all my goals that I set out to do.
Now healthy and back to training, Samek is helping raise money for cancer research by participating in the Lovelo bike ride to benefit the Hollings Cancer Center at the Medical University of South Carolina. This year's event is being held virtually.
But it's pretty much you just go out, you ride, you run, anywhere from the beginning of August through November 4th, I believe it is, and just try to accumulate as many miles as possible. And you log it all on this app called Strava. It's a GPS fitness tracking app. And there's a group for Lovelo on there, so they keep track of everybody. But yeah, so I committed to 1,700 miles this year. Pretty much, honestly, all I really did is took, my average monthly cycling totals and just put them all together and added a couple hundred extra miles in.
Go to lovelo.org, click donate, and then search for Samek's name to donate to the cause. So there you have it, my case that Timmy Samek is a superhero. Well, I guess there is one more thing. If he really is a superhero, there's probably something from our interview that I can use for a pretty cool post-credits scene. We'll see. So I saw you post this photo recently, and I was just curious what memories it brings back.
This was funny. It came up in my throwback whatever review on Facebook, and I'm like, oh my goodness, who let that hair happen? But that was during the whole craze, all the High School Musical stuff was out, and everyone was in love with all the look, and everyone had hair like that. Maybe not everyone. I had a blast in high school. High school was incredible, just thinking about like how far I came personally from my freshman year through my senior year, not just with athletics, but, seeing myself grow as a person, and then eventually where I am today, I'm thinking like that was nowhere on my radar back in high school. So, if there's any kids in high school right now watching this, don't fixate yourself on one goal. It's absolutely fine if things don't work out, because you never know where you'll end up.
Up next, watch a professional competitive eater take on the Titan Challenge at a local restaurant. Welcome back, and I hope you're hungry, because we're not just serving up sunflower seeds here in left field. Oh no, and this next story is no summertime cookout. Our glimpse into the world of professional competitive eating includes a massive 3-pound taco and 6 wings. Bon appetit. I'm a big Julia Child fan, by the way. How do you tell a story about 3 high-level athletes who competed on national TV and became good friends? A 3-pound taco, the Tennessee Titans Hyperion mascot, 6 wings, Joe Tedesco, and professional competitive eating? Honestly, every story weaved into that jumble of words I just said is great. I have no idea how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to give it a try. It's a challenge for sure, but it's nothing like the Titan Challenge at the Brass Buckle Mexican restaurant in Cunningham. We'll get to that. For right now, let's start at the beginning and go back to June of this year. That's when Alexis Balliet, a bodybuilder from Drums, came on SSP TV News to tell her story about being on NBC's The Titan Games. She battled it out with Olympian Chantae McMillan on national TV. Balliet said in the story that the two became friends and a lot of the Titans bonded. Okay, I thought that's nice. All of the athletes at the Titan Games shared a moment, and now they've all moved on with their lives. But a short time after my interview with Balliet, I logged onto my Facebook and found out about the Titan Challenge. So Bartley Weaver, one of the athletes on the Titan Games, was coming to town to meet up with Balliet and her husband Bruce. I should also mention at this point that Weaver is a Kentucky State Trooper, a bodybuilder, and a professional competitive eater. Plus he was the Tennessee Titans Hyperion mascot in 2019. Chew on all that. It's a lot to swallow. That's a lot to do. So Bruce Balliet called his friend who owns the Brass Buckle restaurant to let him know that Weaver wanted to come to dinner.
But he wants to come up for all-you-can-eat wings and tacos, and I said, I'm going to lose some money on this, aren't I? And he said, well, you know, do you want to do something? We can try to put something together. And I said, yeah, that'd be great. So all of a sudden we put together, I talked to Bartley and I talked, and next thing we know, we came up with this 3-pound taco, half a dozen wings, and Bartley is going to eat that.
I think this is a good amount of food because it's not going to scare off a lot of people. You know, I can get upwards of 10 pounds of food, but nobody's going to come in here and try to do that. You know, not many people's going to put themselves through that agony. But I think around the 3-pound mark with some wings is a pretty good spot for anybody that wants to jump in and try.
4 amateurs were taking on the Titan Challenge and competing against each other for a $100 Brass Buckle gift card. What was Weaver getting? A free cheat day meal, which is kind of why he got into all of this.
I've been, you know, in athletic sports my whole life, you know, so I've always had the larger-than-life appetite. Didn't really know I had professional potential, you know, until I won a couple events not too long ago and got a contract extended to me for with Major League Eating. We are athletes, you know. A lot of people don't consider that fact, but you still got to train. You know, you train not to get obese. You know, you're training capacity. You know, as far as food goes, there's a technique and skill to it when it comes to eating fast. So everything all together, you know, that's we consider ourselves athletes.
And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Grab a napkin. I know you're only watching the story on TV or streaming it on a device, but still, you'll feel safer. I also suggest putting your arms at your sides. 10 minutes and 40 seconds. That's how long it took Weaver to devour the Titan Challenge. Before he started eating, I was scanning the room and this woman caught my eye. I thought, that can't be. It is! That's Olympian Chantae McMillan, the athlete who went up against Balliet on the Titan Games. Both McMillan and Balliet were successful heptathletes. McMillan made it all the way to the Olympics in the heptathlon in 2012. Now she's training to try and compete in the javelin at the next Summer Games for Team USA. I asked her about competing on the Titan Games on NBC.
It was really nice meeting The Rock and getting that TV publicity, and I'm just hoping other doors open for me with that opportunity, and everything that's come from it is amazing.
Here's another amazing thing that came from being on the Titan Games for McMillan. She was in Cunningham, Pennsylvania on this night to witness a Titan take down the Titan Challenge.
I mean, that was a competition like any other competition, and he went after it, and I could never do anything like that, so kudos to him on that.
What did you order at the Brass Buckle?
I got a duck taco and a shrimp taco. Yes, I'm not doing it for time though.
Okay, I know you're saying that has to be it, but I think I saved the best part of this story for last. Let's get to the amateurs taking on the Titan Challenge. Before he sat down to dine on a 3-pound taco, 6 wings, and some celery, I spoke with Joe Tedesco.
Well, my friend actually signed me up without me even knowing a couple of days ago, and here we are tonight.
You had no problem, you're like 3-pound taco, I got?
No, I'm gonna try, give it my best. I love to eat, so I figured, what the heck, go for it.
All right, round 2, here we go. A little bit into the competition, it seemed like a lot of the amateurs were starting to hit the wall. Here's Weaver to explain.
What's going on, there's a lot of flavor fatigue setting in. Your body's starting to reject the same flavor because you've already ate so much of it. So you just got to get past that, and you know, in competitive eating, we usually dunk stuff in different flavors. That helps us. You know, of course, we didn't do it here tonight, but you know, you just gotta mix it up. You know, get on the chicken, get on the French fries, get on the wings, get on the celery, mix it up, and just keep on moving.
Joe Tedesco pushes through the wall. In fact, he smashes it down and completes the Titan Challenge in 28 minutes and 39 seconds. After all of that, he gives me honestly the best post-game interview ever.
This is the fullest I've ever been. I mean, I ate before, but I never expected to eat that much. I knew I was going to finish it, but it was just bigger than I expected.
So why is this the best part of the story? Well, first you have to know that the Brass Buckle has the Titan Challenge on their menu, and anyone can try it for $20. They're going to donate all the money they make on the challenge to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, a charity helping families of military personnel and first responders who were injured or lost their lives. So, Joe Tedesco, who continuously thanked the waitress for bringing napkins to him while he was chowing down on a 3-pound taco, donated his $100 gift card back to the Brass Buckle, and that $100 is going to Tunnel to Towers. But Joe didn't walk away empty-handed. I think he made a very powerful friend.
Great guy. You know, this turned out to be something we didn't even expect. You know, coming up here, I didn't know the charity was involved. I'm glad it was. I like to do a lot of eating for charity. And just, you know, hey, Joe worked hard for that 100, and for him to give that back, that's pretty special.
What a story, right? To keep up with the Titans from this story, follow them on social media. Up next, the story of a group trying to get girls wrestling sanctioned in Pennsylvania. Hello again, and thanks for coming back to Left Field. A group trying to get girls wrestling sanctioned by the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association did not let the pandemic slow them down. As sports were put on hold, they hosted a virtual Come Try It night that featured an all-star lineup. Here's how my virtual meetings usually go.
I got a shot of a bunny for a weather shot.
Pretty exciting stuff, right? Well, this virtual meeting was totally different. The Pennsylvania Girls Wrestling Task Force hosted a virtual Come Try It night a few months back that featured 3 giants in the sport. Tela, Bacher, and Sara McMann were both on the first U.S. Olympic women's wrestling team in 2004. McMann won silver in Athens, and she's currently a UFC fighter. Tamyra Mensah-Stock won a world championship in 2020 in women's wrestling. These 3 women have made it to the pinnacle of their sport, and they've seen some pretty cool things along the way. So you may think a simple virtual meeting on a random night in May was no big deal to them, but they were pumped up and they were impressed with the younger wrestlers who were speaking up in hopes of getting others to sign up.
I kind of had to do it on my own. I was like the only girl in my state, and I wish that I had had other girls who were going through the same journey with me, and we had like a little group of people that we kind of had each other's back and support each other and encourage each other and had gone through the same things. Like I didn't get that in my lower grades and I didn't get it in high school. The first experience I had with that was college. And I think I needed that. I think I needed, having guy friends and being around guy wrestlers. I think that that's great too. Like I like my guy friends, but there's just something different about other girl wrestlers who have gone through the same things that you have. You just have like a unspoken kind of camaraderie and pact. Like you've been through different things, and you experience wrestling different. And it's nice to be able to, share that with like a group of girls. It's just different.
I'm glad that I'm here to also guide them and show them that, hey, trailblazing is fun and you guys are doing a fantastic job. So it's exciting, and it's great to know that I can pass the baton to somebody and know that they can not only finish the race, but like get the Olympic, get the Olympic torch and like just be like phenomenal leaders in the sport.
When I see young women developing their voices and developing their leadership qualities, I think that is amazing for the sport of wrestling. But then I even think of it in a bigger field. Like that's amazing for our states and our country and our world to have these really strong inside, emotionally and physically strong women having a voice and stepping up and speaking up. I just am like, this is a big deal.
Brooke Zumas was also a part of the meeting. She's on the wrestling coaching staff at Parkland High School here in Pennsylvania, and she's also a member of the Pennsylvania Girls Wrestling Task Force. I asked her about the feedback she got from the virtual Come Try It night.
The most consistent piece of feedback we got was just how incredible the girls were. The elementary, middle school, and high school girls. People were so impressed with how articulate they were and what a great job Lily did hosting that segment. And I think they felt that portion was just, so genuine, and it just really connected to people. So I would say that was the most consistent point of feedback I got, which was really cool because it's going to be the wrestlers, it's going to be the girls that help lead this movement to get the sport sanctioned.
In March, the Pennsylvania Girls Wrestling Task Force launched a website to help get the word out about getting the sport sanctioned by the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association. Lily Sherer is going to be a senior at Delaware Valley High School, and she's helping lead the charge to sanction PA.
I didn't start being really outgoing and just speaking my mind and stuff like that until I started wrestling on the national team, when I had to force myself to be genuine with these people and kind of open up and let them be a part of my life. Because my parents drop me off and I'm away and I'm with strangers for 2.5 weeks at a time. It definitely helped me open up and come out of my shell, which I'm really grateful for, because I don't know what I'd do if I was still shy. I'd be a pretty boring person. But yeah, no, wrestling definitely had a huge part to play in my character and just personality as a whole.
Sherer travels to tournaments around the country as part of the Pennsylvania national team. She also wrestles with the boys at Delaware Valley High School, but she took her junior year off from her high school team.
No, traveling to me is definitely really important, especially because that's where I'm going to get the best and the biggest competition. Fargo just got canceled, and that was our last opportunity to compete this summer, which was really sad, and I've done well there the past 2 years, but especially for a girl, I think traveling is really important because we don't have those opportunities in our state. Outside of Pennsylvania, there's tournaments that girls could go to, but you travel a little west and there's way more tournaments. Once you get closer to California and Texas and all those big states that have already sanctioned, then you're getting some of the best competition you'll get. Most of those girls on the world teams are wrestling on in sanctioned states. So, traveling is definitely the biggest opportunity for us right now, but it's so expensive, and I feel bad for my parents, but that's the only way that I'm going to get the competition that, as an elite athlete, I guess, we deserve.
According to Zumas, the Sanction PA movement is moving rapidly, and she expects this momentum to continue.
Again, at this point, most of the girls are competing on a boys team, but now we're starting to see that shift where schools are forming those separate girls teams. And PIAA bylaws do require 100 PIAA member schools to have officially formed girls teams that are competing before considering the sanctioning of the sport. So I think the big trend and what's going to happen over these next few years is more and more schools are going to form these teams. And as we do that, all the data from other states has shown that as soon as you provide an opportunity for girls to wrestle, and specifically to really wrestle other girls, where they're not just competing against boys, your participation numbers just explode. There have been states that literally once they provided that opportunity, they saw over 800% growth within barely a year, which is absolutely phenomenal.
Zumas says girls can wrestle at their school or with a local club, and if they need help getting started, they can go to the Pennsylvania Women's Wrestling Facebook page or wrestlelikeagirl.org. Years from now, when female wrestlers look back at the pioneers of the sport, there will be too many to thank. Not all pioneers have gold medals, but they all have a voice. They're all sharing their stories, and they're all hoping that you can help sanction PA. Well, that's how I spent my 2020 summer vacation. I hope you liked my little slideshow. If you want to watch past episodes of Out of Left Field, head to ssptv.com. Till next time, stay safe and take it easy, everyone.